Hey guys, this is Seven. You're watching SEV Network. We're here live with Dan Parent. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well, doing well.
Dan Parent is an illustrator and a writer.
Correct, correct.
That's crazy. How are you doing both?
Well, I just write and draw a lot of my own stories. When I started my career, I was mostly an artist, and then I just started to write more stories as I went along.
Wow. So what inspired you even to get into this field? Because a lot of people imagine, hey, I could write that comic book better, I could do that cartoon better, or that film if they only, but to actually say, this is what I want to do with my life is heavy.
Right. I was a lifelong comic book fan.
Okay.
For as far back as I can remember.
Okay.
And then I just started to draw when I was probably in first grade, and just never stopped. And I always wanted to get into comics.
Okay.
I never realized it was a possibility. I just sort of it was always a dream of mine. And then I just realized when I got out of high school that it was something I was going to pursue.
Wow.
So I lucked out.
Wow. Now, did you go through any technical training?
Yeah, I went to art school. I went
Okay.
to a school called the Joe Kubert School in Dover, New Jersey. And it's a school primarily for comic book artists.
Okay.
And a lot of people in the field who are well known have gone there. So it's kind of well known for that. And I went there back at over 30 years ago now. And just upon graduation, was lucky enough to be good enough to be noticed by Archie Comics, who hired me. And so I've been there ever since.
Now, were you a fan of Archie's comics as a kid?
Mm-hmm. I was. It was some of the first comics I got when I was a kid were Archie. So I was always influenced by them, and I like the art style, and I like superhero comics a lot too. But I always appreciated the Archie style.
I find that amazing when people, I always loved Spider-Man. It was so inspired. I couldn't wait to pick up another comic. Next thing you know, they're working for that property. What did that feel like to get a job at Archie?
It was amazing because I grew up as a fan for so many years, and then to actually be a part of the company was, I mean, at first it's sort of surreal. At first it's like you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually working in the field. And then after a while it just becomes sort of like another job. I mean, even though you still enjoy it, it's actually like my livelihood now. So it becomes real after a while.
Is it real now?
It's real. It's real. It's fun. It's great, but it's my job.
Now, is there anything new coming out?
Yeah. Well, I've got a new series, a new Betty and Veronica book coming out in a couple of months called Betty and Veronica Friends Forever. It's a new classic style Archie, because we have two styles. There's like a new style and a classic style.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. And
wait, what's the difference between the new style and the classic style?
The new style is more realistic, less cartoony, drawn more like the way superhero comics are drawn.
Okay.
And it kind of goes in tune with like the Riverdale show, which we have on TV. It kind of is in tune with that, where there's still a large audience for the classic Archie, which is what I work on is classic.
Now, for anybody out there that not familiar with the TV show version, what's the difference between the updated, TV version versus classic?
Well, the TV show is a little more adult because it's on TV. It's for an older audience, so it does it's a little more racy, I guess you'd say, a little more adult than what we would do in the comic books. Because the comic books are for a younger audience.
Right.
But aside from that, the characters are the same. I mean, it's still the same personalities, just in a different format.
Are we looking forward to a movie?
I don't know.
Because usually that's the path now. They're doing.
I know they're always talking about movies, so there's probably something in the works that I don't even know about.
Wow. So, are there anything that you want to do with the characters that you haven't done yet? Anything you'd like to explore, topics, or?
Well, there's always new topics that come up. I mean, I've pretty much drawn every character at this point from the Archie in the Archie universe. So there's always like new stuff I want to do, but I like doing crossovers. We like to do crossovers with like DC and Marvel.
Wow.
And we've done them with other companies. Like we've done we did Archie meets Kiss, the rock group Kiss. We just did a Betty and Veronica meet Harley Quinn comic.
Wow.
So those are always fun because with the crossovers you can do anything.
Now, because you write as well as illustrate, is any part of that super easy? Like, you know what? I got the writing. but I'm having a little bit more issue with the illustrators, or they just kind of flow.
The drawing's easy because I know as I draw all the time.
Right.
Stories can be.
He's like, I'm good, I got this.
Well, I don't know about that, but I pretty much do.
Right.
But the stories are a little different because sometimes it's you're trying to create. Like, you might have writer's block. You're trying to create a story.
Right.
Although when you get a really good idea, sometimes the story just flows right out of you. So it goes either way. But I just say once the story idea is down, it's easy.
Oh,
It's just coming up with that story idea sometimes.
Okay. So do you create any works for yourself? Do you have any private?
Yeah. I have a book called Die Kitty Die.
Okay.
It's a book that I created outside of Archie. It's done in a cartoony style. It's just a little more adult than Archie is.
Okay.
I did it through Kickstarter. I did it with another friend of mine, Fernando Ruiz, who's also an Archie artist, and we created this on our own through Kickstarter. It was very successfully funded, and now we publish it through a company called Chapter House.
Oh.
So I have this book in addition to my regular Archie projects.
That's awesome. So what is the website that someone could, check your stuff out?
You can go to danparent.com. Yep.
That's it. That's simple.
It's very, very easy. I got the domain name a long time ago, obviously. So you can go there and check out my projects. You can go on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and I always post all my projects on there. So I'm pretty easy to find online.
That's awesome. And your social media, all the same?
Social media, my Twitter feed is @ParentDaniel.
Okay.
Because somebody did have Dan Parent, so I have @ParentDaniel, and Instagram is @ParentDaniel too, or
Okay.
Parent Daniel is my name. So.
Well, you got it. Thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you.
to us today, and support Archie's.
Absolutely.
And definitely go to his website. Let's
Yes.
support original works as well. Thank you very much. You're watching SEV Network, and continue. Thank you.